Shalom, how's everyone doing? Today's day 14 of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we'll be learning Siman Bey's Seif Zayin. First off, I want to say that today's shir is sponsored by Yaakov Cohen in honor of the birth of my son. Okay, shkoyach for sponsoring. Okay, let's get started. Ksiv, we start off with the pasuk. The pasuk says, Baruch Nashi es Hashem. My soul shall bless Hashem, and everything inside me should bless his name. A person, when he blesses Hashem, he has to bless Hashem with everything inside of him. Therefore, one is not allowed to make a bracha until he cleans his inside, from having to use the bathroom, from having to use it for itzoah or merglaim. So a person wakes up in the morning. Most people, they have to use the bathroom in the morning. At least to go ketanim. Therefore, a person should not make a bracha when he washes his hands in the morning, unless he's went to the bathroom already. And then after he goes to the bathroom, he washes his hands again. And then he says the bracha al netilas yadayim. Uberchas Torah, Uberchas Elokai Neshama, and you say all those brachos. Okay. Before we begin this Seif, we have to once again reiterate that we make a bracha of Netilas Yadayim in the morning for two reasons. One is the reason of the rush, that when we go to sleep at night, our hands move around. There's a chazaka, we touch the covered part of the body. You cannot daven after you touch the covered part of the body, therefore we have to wash our hands and make a bracha. According to the Rashbi, says that's not the reason. The reason is because when we're like a Kohen, we start our avoda, right? When we wake up in the morning, we want to start our avoda of Hashem, and just like when a Kohen started his avoda, he would wash his hands, so too we wash our hands. So the question really you have to ask yourself that, according to both the Rashba and the Rush, when is the proper time to actually wash our hands in the morning? So, according to the Rashba, seems like right when you wake up, that's when we start our daily avoda. Wash your hands, make a bracha on that washing, because that's the washing, and you're fine. But let's think about it. According to the Rush, let's say I wake up in the morning and I wash my hands. But I know for sure that my hands will be unclean by the time davening starts. For example, I have to get dressed. I have to go to the bathroom. Therefore, according to the Rush, when we wash our hands in the morning, that's not a washing that we make a bracha on. That's not the ikar washing. The ikar washing is actually the washing we do in preparation for davening. Therefore, it would not be appropriate to actually make a bracha the first washing. So with this in mind, now we could understand this halacha. This halacha is really, when are you supposed to say the bracha of al netilas yadayim in the morning? So, we'll quote four opinions. One is the opinion that Shulchan Aruch says. Shulchan Aruch happens to not accept this opinion, but we'll quote it first. This is in Siman Vav, Seif Beis, in the Shulchan Aruch. There are some people that they wait to say the bracha al netilas yadayim in the morning. They wait till they get to shul. Right, so some people, they wait till they get to shul. So if you look in the Beis Yosef, the Beis Yosef says this is the sheet of the Maharam. The Maharam quotes a minhag that people, even though we wash our hands in the morning, but we wait to say the bracha al netilas yadayim until we get to shul. So he says that's how can you do that? Right? Usually when you do a mitzvah, you say a bracha as you do the mitzvah. For example, you shake a lulav, you make a bracha as you shake the lulav. So how can you wash your hands at home? You wash your hands when you get up in the morning, and then, hours later, or however much longer later, you get to shul. How can you then say the bracha on netilas yadayim? Like, that's a major hefsek between the ma'isa netila and the bracha. So he says, it's not fair, and we quoted something like this yesterday. If you look in the Rashba clearly says that the bracha of al netilas yadayim that we make in the morning is not a normal birchas mitzvah. It's just not. He says it's like one of the birchas hashachar. It's like one of the birchas hashachar. It's like one of the birchas hashachar, right? So one of the things we thank Hashem for in the morning, just like we thank Hashem for putting on shoes, we thank Hashem that we have the opportunity to wash our hands and to serve Him. So therefore, according to the Rashba, it is not that hard to say that, okay, true, according to the Rashba, you wash your hands in the morning, you just did the mitzvah, great. But the bracha of al netilas yadayim, that's okay to wait till you say the rest of the birchas hashachar. Nothing's wrong with that. So that's the reason for this minhag. The problem is, According to the Rush, though, seemingly it's a bracha levatala, right? According to the Rush, you're supposed to wash your hands and make a bracha on that washing. It's a normal birchas mitzvah, nothing to do with the birchas hashachar. That's the Rashba. That's the Rashba shita. So l'chora, according to the Rush, we washed our hands hours ago. How can you now say the bracha? So that's why this is not really the best option. But it is brought down, so it might be okay. Next is the option that the Mishabura likes. If you look in the Be'er Halacha, there's a whole Be'er Halacha about it. He's quoting the Chayei Adam. The Chayei Adam says, let's think about it. Right? We wake up in the morning, we wash our hands. And according to the Rashba, we just totally fulfilled the mitzvah of washing our hands in the morning. But then he said, according to the Rush, right, what's going to happen? We're going to end up going to the bathroom. We're going to end up, we're going to make our hands, not clean for davening. So if you wash your hands in the morning, and then you make your hands not clean for davening, then that kind of loses the whole washing according to the Rush. So he says, here's what you do. Here's what the Be'er Halacha according to the Chayei Adam says you do. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is you wash your hands. Right? Why do we say you wash your hands? Because we say you're supposed to wash your hands as soon as you could in the morning, right? We want to get rid of the ruach ra. So wash your hands as soon as you can in the morning. Then what do? Then obviously you have to go to the bathroom. You have to get dressed, everything. Then wash your hands, and now you could say a bracha, right? Because according to the Rush, now my hands are clean for davening, right? I just went to the bathroom, I'm ready to daven, so I wash my hands. I could say a bracha al Netilas Yadayim because now my hands are going to be clean for davening, and that's a very acceptable time. You might ask me, what about, does this fit with the Rashba? So we just said, yeah. Right, the Rashba holds you can make a bracha anytime you want. It's one of the birchas hashachar. It's not a birchas mitzvah. So seemingly, this option, you yotze according to the Rush because you're washing your hands for davening, and you're yotze the Rashba. But let me ask you this: let's say somebody wants to get up super early in the morning to learn. So he gets up, let's say 5 o'clock in the morning, but he's not davening till 8 o'clock. So what does he do? Obviously, he wakes up, he washes his hands, fine. Now he goes to the bathroom, gets dressed, he washes his hands again. If you look in the Be'er Halacha, he says, wait a second, you start learning, let's say, 5 o'clock in the morning, you're going to end up davening Shachris at 8 o'clock, your hands are probably going to get dirty again, you're probably going to end up going to the bathroom, so therefore he says, in that situation, you should wait till you're ready to daven. You should wait till you're ready to daven to make the bracha, just to be sure you're yotze according to the Rush. However, if you look in the Shari Tshuva, it doesn't say that. The Shari Tshuva just says simply, this is in Siman Vav in the Shari Tshuva, he says like this Be'er Halacha, he says you wake up in the morning, wash your hands, go to the bathroom, then wash your hands again, and it doesn't matter how long before Shachris it is, and you could still say Netilas Yadayim. And what's very compelling, why is the Shari Tshuva very compelling? Because the Torah quotes the Rush in Siman Mem Zayin, and the Rush writes in a Tshuva, he says, what should a person do if he wakes up early to learn in the morning? What should he do? So the Rush says, he wakes up and he actually says Al Netilas Yadayim. Right? So this is kind of a proof against the Chayei Adam. The Chayei Adam says, according to the Rush, you have to wait literally till you're about to daven, and then you can say the bracha Al Netilas Yadayim. But the Rush writes in the Tshuva that you could actually make the bracha even before you start learning, even though you're not going to be davening for a while. But the question is, why could you do that, right? According to the Rush, if the whole thing's about davening, maybe you should say the bracha when you're ready to daven. So that's why you have to look at the Tshuva of the Rush carefully. And the Magen Avraham quotes the Shita like this. He quotes the Emek HaBracha, who says that, no, you shouldn't just wash your hands and say Al Netilas Yadayim. You should really say the rest of Birchas HaShachar. Because what are you doing? When you say the rest of Birchas HaShachar, you're showing that you're starting to daven, right? So, even according to the Rush, who says you're washing your hands to prepare for davening, yeah, you're starting to daven. Sure, you're not going to say Shemona Esrei for a while, but at least you'll say Birchas HaShachar, and that will be enough to make a bracha according to the Rush. Okay, so just to sum up so far, we have 3 shitos. One is the first shita we quoted. We said you wait to shul to make the bracha, and that at least you would say according to the Rush, but not according to the Rush. The second shita is the Chayei Adam, is that you make the bracha on Netilas Yadayim when your mamish know for sure you're going to be hands are going to be clean and ready for davening. And 3 is the shita of the Shari Tshuva, also the Emek HaBracha, also seemingly the shita of the Rush actually, that you could make the bracha as long as your hands are clean and you're saying the rest of Birchas HaShachar, let's say. Okay, but I have to quote this fourth shita. This is the shita of Rav Willig in Am Mordechai. Oh, what does he say? So he says, let's think about it. Right, until now we've been assuming that according to the Rashba, you could say the bracha whenever you want, right? We're saying, like, even though according to the Rashba, right when I wash my hands in the morning, I was just yotzei my chiyuv, because nothing really to do with having clean hands for davening, just about the act of washing when we wake up. So according to the Rashba, we're yotzei right away. But until now we've been saying, like, that's acceptable. That's acceptable to delay the bracha according to the Rashba, because the Rashba considers it a Birchas HaShachar. But Rav Willig points out over here, there's an Am Mordechai, Siman Yud Aleph, he says, Pashup Pshat of the Rashba is that no. The bracha al Netilas Yadayim is a Birchas HaMitzvah, and you should do it together when you do the mitzvah. Right? That's the Pashup Pshat. Right? And he says, if you look in the Beis Yosef, who says this whole thing, that he describes it as a Birchas HaShachar, right? When he quotes the Rashba, he describes it as a Birchas HaShachar. If you look, it's really a dochik. So he says, he gives an option to get the best of both worlds. He says, why is everyone assuming that when you wake up in the morning, right away you should wash your hands with a kli? Why are they assuming that? Right? Because what happens? You wash your hands with a kli, according to the Rashi, you've just been yotzei the mitzvah. And maybe you should actually have to say the bracha right then. So he has a great idea. He says, how about when you wake up in the morning, you don't use a kli? Because according to the Rashba, it's ma'akiv to have a kli. According to the Rashba, if you wash your hands in the morning, we said this the other day. If you wash your hands in the morning without a kli, it's nothing. So therefore, you should wake up in the morning, you should wash your hands without a kli, and in that way, alright, and it could be even, why should you even do that? Because it could be it gets rid of the rachra. Alright, there was a suffix about that, if you actually need a kli to get rid of rachra. And that's good. So you wash your hands without a kli, so you weren't yotzei according to the Rashba, and you're not yotzei according to the Rosh, because you know you're going to get your hands not clean again. And then, you go to the bathroom, get dressed, whatever. And then, now wash your hands with a kli. Wash your hands with a kli. So now I'm being yotzei the Rosh, because I'm having clean hands for davening. And I'm being yotzei the Rashba, because this is the first time of the day I'm washing my hands with a kli. Okay? These are 4 opinions when to say the bracha. Okay, shkoyach.